So, good evening to DeFiChain News on the 11th of January 2023. Finally, we are back. Sorry for the delay. The streaming software is letting me down today dramatically. We had the same problem in the German version now and now also in the English. It just didn't want to start, and talking to myself is actually quite boring, so I had to reboot the system twice and do a couple of changes. Now hopefully it's all working. I see a couple of people in the chat. That's good news. So yeah, everybody, welcome to 2023. If you like what you see, even if you're delayed, leave us a like here. Helps the algorithm and the project dramatically. DC is not here today. He's traveling. DC have a wonderful trip to Munich. Let's just jump right into the headlines. First topic today, Hardfork Grand Central epilogue. A lot of things happened yesterday. Then we have some notable mentions, community project updates, and last but not least, the future dates. So stay until the very end that you know what's gonna happen here. So the hard fork or the software upgrade on our node software was a little bit smoother than the first show of 2023. It was actually quite good. I want to give a quick update. There were actually two releases. I want to talk very briefly. What are these releases for and how do they differ? So if you've seen our node upgrades normally have a 3-digit number. It starts with a V for version, and then you've got 3.x.x, for example. The first three is a major release. That means if there's a major release, you really have to update your node software. I'm talking about master nodes here. Then there's a 3.1, for example. The 1 stands for a minor release. These are also mandatory updates. This is really necessary if you want to participate in mining new blocks. You have to upgrade, otherwise your masternode's going to stall and not going to move forward. And then we've got the third digit at the very end. There's so-called batches. And these are not mandatory, they are optional. And why this is important, I want to explain a little bit, because the last couple of days we had actually two upgrades in one. One was a minor release that is mandatory and fixed a couple of things, and then we had the batch release that is optional and brings a lot of features with it, but is not necessary. So I think people sometimes ask why so many at the same time. There was a big problem on Grand Central rollout 3.0 a couple of weeks ago. And we had this chain split. I think DC and me had a whole news show talking about the chain splits and why they happen. And I think we explained it. So if you want to go back in time and want to hear about that topic solved. But the problem was, because of the burn bot that we had to make sure that all master nodes are on the same level. But we didn't want to push out an emergency upgrade to all the exchanges and whatever. So the 3.1 upgrade went out to all the master nodes, but was not mandatory. But most people actually did it, and that helped to get this chain splitting under control. But not every master node upgraded. So now that we want to introduce the burn bot again, because the burn bot was a very good defib and we really want to use the burn bot to reduce the discount on DST, we had to make sure that all master nodes are finally updated. And to achieve this, there was 3.2 epilogue. And 3.2 epilogue was mandatory again, and all the exchanges have updated, and I think all the master nodes or most of the master nodes out there have updated. So now everything is running smoothly and the burn bot can be activated again. What does that mean now for the burn bot? The burn bot collects rewards that were not used on the DeFi chain so far. And these DFI are going to be used to swap into the USD, what rises the price of the USD and reduces the discount on the DUSD. That's a great thing, but yeah, like we said a couple of weeks ago, it caused a chain split. That's now under control. Burn bot is going to be switched on. It burns about 40 DFI, 40.1 DFI to be precise per block. That means there's 4,820 DFI per hour, right? 4,820. A block has 40. We have 120 blocks, so 40 by 120. We come up at 4,820. So this is going to run off for about 30 days, and then the amount that got accumulated over last weeks is going to be reduced, and then we're going to burn around 20. At that time, it's going to be a little bit less DFI, or we're going to swap 20 DFI per block into DOC. This doesn't happen in every block. This normally happens once or twice a day, and then the swapping is actually done. So now we want to look a little bit what did this 3.2.1 upgrade actually bring, because this was this non-mandatory update, it was this optional update. There were a couple of interesting things in there. So for the on-chain governments, they're so-called RPC calls. These are more or less API calls, if you know what an API call is. That's not so relevant at the moment. It was introduced, but that's especially important for the DFIP, CFP voting, and for the calls to get the information about all these projects from the servers. This is more or less installed already or updated, but not really functional on the mainnet now. But what's really interesting, there was always this rumor about people are front-running transactions. So what's front-running? Front-running is nothing else that you see a behavior of another user on the net, and now you kind of change your behavior to kind of gain an advantage in regards to the other transaction somebody puts in there. Okay, that's theoretically maybe a little bit vague. So let me give an example. Imagine I want to sell 100,000 DFI in the next block. So I send a transaction, sign it, transaction leaves my wallet, the transaction goes into the mempool. In the mempool, all the transactions are stored. Now one masternode actually finds a block, takes all the transactions from the mempool and in a certain order and processes that. So my 100,000 DFI gets sold. The problem is now, if somebody else sees that I want to sell 100,000 DFI, this person was able to do a transaction with a higher transaction fee than mine and because transactions were sorted by amount of, or by the amount of transaction fees, could put his transaction fee in front of mine. Means he pushed the price down, I got a worse price, and then because the price was further pushed down, the front runner, so to say, could actually buy the DFI back. So he gained an advantage because he anticipated my behavior. That's not illegal. This is just something what the software in that case actually allowed. But that causes, of course, a couple of problems, and in some way it's not a really fair behavior. So that was to be stopped. And there is now a feature in the node software that you can actually set that the ordering, so this is called the miner policy, that the ordering is now time-based and not by the value of the fees that the person with the transaction actually put on the transaction. That's actually cool. So these sandwich attacks where you actually buy or sell because you see a big transaction coming in are in this case not possible anymore. You can still put higher transaction fees in, but it doesn't really help anything anymore because only the masternode who mines the block and has not activated the feature can actually sort by transaction fees. So if you have 10 masternodes, that means actually you can try to do these sandwich attacks all the time, but the only problem is how many times will your masternode find a block, and only if your masternode finds a block you can sort it. So that means thousands of times when other masternodes finds blocks, and we have like 17,000 masternodes or something on the net already, then actually you take a loss because you put high transaction fees inside, you make a trade, and this trade is maybe going against you because some other transactions are in front of you. So that means this front running is actually stopped, what is a very good thing. What else was fixed, or what else is now possible? So the SPV, the Bitcoin wallet, had kind of a bug, shutting down once in a while and was hanging up. This is also fixed. Now you would ask, where's the Bitcoin wallet? So on the full wallet, there's a Bitcoin wallet also integrated, and there you can store your real Bitcoin in it. So that's fixed. And then there's an accounting model in the background. So we've been talking about that before already. There's a consortium now. So a consortium member can now also mint DBTC. Means not only money that comes outside from the chain and goes through Cake, also somebody else. So for example, I would have a company in crypto and I participate in DeFiChain. I could also become a consortium member and be a kind of a gateway into the DeFi chain. And everybody who is now running one of these bridges has the possibility to create DBTC, but also on the way out have to burn this DBTC. And this accounting model is necessary to see, did everybody who produce DBTC also burn them on the way out? And this is now also possible. So a lot of things happened. Most important, all this chain splitting is stopped, the burn bot is reactivated, and all these optional features that I was just talking about, the API calls, the ordering of the transactions, the Bitcoin wallet, and last but not least, this accounting model for the minted DBTC is now also possible. So in case you haven't upgraded yet, it's a good idea to do this optional update, this batch upgrade, and also download the latest snapshot. There was a little bit a problem with a corrupted snapshot yesterday, but that was solved in a couple of minutes. So everything should work very smoothly. So, and now we go back to see me in the full picture, because I say you are still looking at the headlines, but at least you could follow along. So what's the next step? Notable mentions. We had a couple of really cool articles on CoinMarketCap. One was explaining the difference between native DFI and ERC20 tokens. We're going to link that up in the show notes. And then there was an article called DeFiChain Traders Leverage Arbitrage Opportunities to Profit from D Assets. So it's actually talking about trading D tokens and leverage trading there. We're going to link that up as well. Then there were two interesting blog posts written by the team. One is DeFiChain Light Wallet 2.0, the redesign process. We've been talking about this so many times that the Bursty Research team, they had the 7-step approach. How did they revamp the DeFiChain Light Wallet? And this is explained there. And then we've got DeFiChain's Top Achievement 2022. They see it in the last news show of 2022. I think a very nice overview of what happened. And this is kind of a similar story, talking about what happened in 2022. Give it a read. It's crazy how much happened in 2022. We live from one week to the next, but there are really hundreds of changes that happened last year. And it's maybe sometimes quite nice to go back in time and see what has been achieved. So that brings us to community project updates. One topic in my own interest. So DBTC exploit. We had about a year ago exactly, we had this DBTC exploit, and I thought, okay, this is something that happened, but I don't want to let the culprits get away with the stolen funds. And I thought that's really something that has to be investigated. There was a DFIP that was, a CFP that was approved, 1 million DFI, kind of a war chest to go after the bad guys. 132,587.48 have been used already. What has been done with the money, or what has been achieved so far? We secured a lot of evidence. We did a lot of research, data analytics were done. We used a lot of forensic tools to track transactions. Then we involved a couple of lawyers around the globe to help us to deal with law enforcement agencies and public prosecutors around the globe. And we have a couple of really good tracks and evidence already secured. And in one country, we also opened a criminal prosecution. What that means is actually that the public prosecutor is actually investigating now already and going after these people who are actually involved in that exploit. And this is gonna be an evolving story. So I published a Reddit post that actually explains very clearly what was done. What are the next steps? Of course, that we made very good progress in that story. I'm gonna proceed with these task 2023 as well. Hopefully we're gonna close the case. Of course, that takes some time. I mean, it's an international investigation. A lot of police forces are involved there already. But I'm very, very positive. Yeah, follow along. There's not going to be much more communication about that. First of all, everything has been said. Everything has been written. The funds have been returned. So 870,000 DFI have been returned to community fund address. And now there's going to be new CFP with a budget for 2023. In case you have further information that I haven't heard yet, then please contact me. But I think we have a very, very good picture already what's going on. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Stay positive. I'm very positive, and the team is very positive that we make a big step forward in the next couple of weeks and months. So much about the DBTC exploit. Next is Chevrolet. So let's talk about something more exciting, because that's something new and upcoming. Chevrolet's team, amazing team, Igor and Sebastian, they are heavily pushing out content on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Looks like they are never sleeping. It's really amazing. They had a kind of a viral video already with 125,000 views on TikTok. Really cool how they get traction on all different social media platforms. A lot of funny stuffs going on there. Funny in a positive way. And follow along. It's really great. Join the TikTok channel, even if you're not TikTok generation. Support the project. The main idea of Chevrolet is really bring a lot of people to the crypto space, especially if they are not really crypto savvy, and that's gonna help the DeFi chain, like every other project, dramatically. So support these guys. There's a lot of good stuff happening. Follow the social media accounts. And the DeFiChain Wiki also said they've done a massive UI improvement. They created a new sidebar. They have a lot of new categories and grouped the pages much better. Also introduced a couple of new pages. Introduction, ecosystem, vault and loans, CLI, update masternodes. Check that out. Thanks a lot to the DeFiChain Wiki team. I know that's a tedious work to do. There's so much happening, and always keeping that updated. I think they deserve a big thank you from the whole community. It's fantastic. Support is so important, especially if there's so much happening. Our project really never sleeps. Log also reported in they've got some new asset under management numbers to be published. They've got at the moment 15 million DFI under management. That's 750 masternodes in lock staking and 2.7 million DUSD in the yield machine. On the yield machine side, there's also some news. They're gonna also offer now D tokens in the yield machine in 2023, and they had a promotion in 2022 at the end where you could lock in your DFI and you get a special discount on your lifetime fees. Check that out on our website. It's an attractive offer if you want to work with Lockspace team. And what else is happening there? They also had a transparency report. There's a YouTube video. Check that out. And there's a lot of more stuff coming from their side. Sounds very exciting. Vault Maxi, Kügi sent us a report in. Thanks for giving us an update here, Kügi. So Vault Maxi 2 is already in the version 2.5 available. A lot of new features are available here. So now you can change the reinvest pattern. You can send the DFI directly to any native exchange or service. You can lock the lock messages got improved, so now you can change what notification do you really want to get sent to you. And then there are additional safety features, additional safety checks, because like we've seen at the chain split, things can go wrong, and then you've got a bot running who manages your vault. You just want to make sure that the vault's doing the right stuff. So that sounds really, really good. And then we've got on the future date side, not so much news today. There's, of course, the news show next week. And then at the end of time, we had the fireside chat planned for the 26th of January. That's in about 2 weeks. I don't know who is going to join yet. That's a little bit of a surprise, but it's going to be somebody from Burst, the research team. And we've got a couple of names there already who are planned for 2023. Good, guys. Then we're going to jump very quickly because that's the second show in the question and answers. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for a lot of good news in 2023. There's so much good stuff happening. DeFi Metal Chain is coming. Chevrolet is launching their product. Lock is developing a lot of stuff. Cake DeFi is never resting and pushing really hard to bring a lot of value to DeFi chain. We should never forget that it's still the biggest player on DeFi chain, and so many new projects are out there and making progress. Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be exciting. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve and fantastic Christmas, and you are all ready to roll. Everybody else there who want to build reach out to us, get going. I think it's really exciting time. Even prices are a little bit meh at the moment, but the market is kind of in limbo still. Let's see what 2023 brings. I'm very positive. My name is Lord Mark, and I'm gonna jump on the other side, and then we see if there are some questions. Otherwise, we're gonna be finished pretty soon. See you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Yo guys, sorry, on the German version I had to cut the question and answers. I saw there were a ton of questions. We're gonna do this next week. I just want to call out Christian Patterson is here today. Thanks for watching. That's always cool that you're here. You are actually a guest for the DeFiChain Fireside Chat. I haven't forgotten that yet. We really have to talk. Rhodium is here. Where is Rhodium is here? Happy New Year, everybody. Then Thomas, Happy New Year. Hey, thanks for watching. Also a very loyal visitor and guest here. Yeah, it was a great release, absolutely. So a lot of good stuff is happening. Looking forward to it. Let's hope we really nail the bet, guys. I'm very positive. It never looked any better. I tell you that it was a shitload of work over the last year. So, but I'm very positive. Yeah, and Matthew says, thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy to have you guys. It was a smaller round here today. German version is always a bit bigger than the English one, but spread the good word out there. Bring more people to the English channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I see you next week when DC is back. Then hopefully the streaming software is not gonna let me down. I really have to check out what's going on here. That was a big mess. I started freaking out here already, but finally we made it. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a fantastic week and see you next time. Thanks a lot and bye-bye. Bye-bye.